The knock on the door came just after midnight, the kind of slow, uncertain knock that sounded like someone standing on the edge of their life. Inside the small dimly lit house, a tired single father froze in the middle of washing dishes. Soap bubbles slid slowly down his forearms while the sound echoed again through the quiet hallway. His 6-year-old daughter slept in the next room, her soft breathing drifting through the slightly open door like a fragile reminder that some things in life were still gentle. Outside, rain tapped softly against the windows, and the world felt unusually still. When he opened the door, the last person he expected to see was standing on the porch. His boss. The woman who owned the company where he worked. The woman who was supposed to be getting married tonight. Her white wedding dress was soaked from the rain, the delicate fabric clinging to her like a memory she couldn't escape. Her long dark hair hung loose and damp around her pale face, mascara streaked beneath eyes that looked hollow and exhausted. The expensive diamond engagement ring on her finger caught the porch light for a moment, flashing like something broken. And then, before he could say a single word, she stepped forward and collapsed against him, sobbing so hard her shoulders trembled. I couldn't fake loving him. For a moment he didn't move. His mind struggled to process what he was seeing. This woman, the confident CEO who ran boardrooms like battlefields, who spoke with calm authority and never showed weakness, was now standing on his doorstep shaking like someone who had lost everything. If you believe every story hides a lesson somewhere inside it, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Humanity Stories, because sometimes the most unexpected moments reveal the most human truths. The man slowly guided her inside. The warm yellow light of the living room wrapped around them as the rain continued whispering outside. She stood in the center of the room like someone who had just walked out of another world, her soaked wedding dress dripping onto the wooden floor. This house was small. A worn sofa, a second-hand coffee table, crayon drawings taped unevenly on the walls, a tiny pink backpack hanging on a chair. It smelled faintly of laundry detergent and the soup he had made earlier for his daughter. It was nothing like the life she came from. And yet she looked around the room as if it was the first place she had felt safe all night. Hours earlier, she had been standing inside a grand cathedral filled with hundreds of guests. Crystal chandeliers glowed above rows of elegant people dressed in black and gold. Cameras waited. Business partners smiled politely. Her fiancé stood at the altar in a tailored suit worth more than most people's cars. Everything about the day had been flawless. Everything except the truth. While the music played and the doors opened for her entrance, she had felt something terrifying inside her chest, a deep hollow silence where love should have been. She looked at the man waiting for her at the altar and realized she felt nothing but obligation. Years of expectations had led to that moment. Families, business alliances, reputation. Everyone said the marriage made sense. But standing there beneath the cathedral lights, she realized something unbearable. A lifetime built on a lie would slowly destroy her. And somewhere in that moment, a different image appeared in her mind. A quiet memory. A small office breakroom. A tired employee carefully packing leftover cake into a container so he could bring it home to his daughter. The way he smiled when talking about her. The way he left work early every Friday so he could attend her school events. There had been something real in that life. Something she had never had. So she walked out of the wedding. No explanations. No speeches. Just the sound of heels echoing across marble floors while shocked whispers followed behind her like ghosts. And somehow, hours later, her car had stopped outside this small house. Back in the living room, the single father handed her a dry towel and an oversized hoodie belonging to him. She changed in the bathroom, leaving the ruined wedding dress folded quietly on the floor like the remains of a different life. When she returned, she looked smaller somehow. Human. She sat on the couch and stared at her hands for a long time. For years she had built a life around success, control, and perfection. Billion-dollar deals, luxury homes, private flights. But none of those things had ever made her feel the quiet warmth she felt now listening to a child softly snoring in the next room. Eventually she spoke again, her voice barely above a whisper. She said she hadn't come here expecting answers. She just didn't know where else to go. The father sat across from her, unsure what to say. He had spent most of his life solving practical problems, school lunches, rent payments, bedtime stories after exhausting workdays. Emotional storms like this belonged to another world. Yet somehow, as the night stretched on, they simply talked. Not about business. Not about money. About loneliness. About the strange way life rearranges itself after loss. He told her about his